Greetings, viewers for Earth Faith, and Earth-based records. Me right here, Akshay Walter. A brief review of the maps here of the war in Ukraine. What we're seeing is a recent Russian incursion from Kazakhstan, where, of course, at Astana al-Sultan, they have the detraining, deboarding of all goods, from the Chinese trans-China rails onto the capitalist Western European railways. So in Astana al-Sultan, in Kazakhstan, they literally have two separate rail systems, the communist and the capitalist rails, for the products made in China to head into Western Europe. Now, what goes on after Kazakhstan, if you make a direct line from Kazakhstan into the fighting area of the boundary of Ukraine, it's a straight line through Soviet Georgia into that part of Ukraine, which is contested, and the red line for Russia. It may be that something in relation to the connection of these rails into Ukraine from Kazakhstan through Soviet Georgia, and then the next stop would be a direct line into the fighting area, the red line area that Vladimir Putin made for Ukraine. Now, I cannot speak to the exactly what is the conflict between these European powers. Obviously, this is the boundary between Western Europe, Eastern Europe, and beyond into the United States. Of course, with the United States sending troops into parts of Eastern Europe. In the military language of the military, this is something I don't quite understand. I know there's been a lot of talk in the United Nations. I have only studied really the transit routes in relation to the Belt and Road Initiative, or the New Silk Road, the 2012 treaty connecting over 150 nations in the new post global warming economy, where construction as part of this worldwide treaty encompasses countries as distant from each other as Norway, Africa, South America, India, I'm not sure about India, but certainly Sri Lanka and Pakistan, so and the United States. So this Belt and Road Initiative treaty, signed by most of the world in 2012, would explain, in the context of global warming, what's going on here. We certainly hope and pray that not too many lives are lost in this conflict over Ukraine, with the United States having some issues with Russia there. This is something I haven't quite got a grip on. What is the nature of the military disagreement? Obviously, there was an incursion in Kazakhstan due to some rioting there, a couple weeks ago. The Russians entering Kazakhstan, which is, from what I understand, a transit crossroads between East and West. India as a nation, and my heritage being from India, has a lot of current involvement in that 5 countries of Central Asia, because it's between now this is a different place. We're talking about Ukraine, but last week we were talking about Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, 5 stans. This is where India can be a neutral player, and this is beyond there into Europe. So this is somewhere between Germany, Italy, and Russia. So those are the issues there in Ukraine. But I might mention, with some understanding of Kazakhstan, that those trains probably heading over through Ukraine, hoping that there will not be too much of a loss of life in this conflict for both sides. And remember, between Peter and Paul is always the battle in Rome. Samir Gard is signing off here for Earth-Based Records and Earth Faith.